Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful village, there lived an old lady renowned far and wide for one extraordinary trait. She was always happy. No matter the circumstances or what life threw her way, her smile never faded. The villagers adored her deeply, and people from all around would seek her out for advice, comfort, or simply a kind word. "Excuse me, ma'am, I have to ask, how is it that you're always happy? No matter what happens, you never seem sad. Don't you ever feel upset when life goes wrong?" "Ah, my dear, let me tell you something. Life is full of ups and downs. Some days everything seems perfect, and other days it feels like the world is against us. But what I've learned over the years is that happiness isn't about what happens to us. It's about how we choose to respond to it." How can you stay happy when bad things happen? I just don't understand. Well, let me tell you a story from my own life. When I was young, I had a family, my husband and my children. We weren't rich, but we were happy. We made do with what we had, and we loved each other deeply. But then, my husband became very sick. We had no money for medicine, and despite our best efforts, he passed away. That was the saddest day of my life. I cried for days, and I thought I'd never be happy again. I thought my world was over. But then something inside me shifted. I realized that staying sad wouldn't bring him back. I still had my children, they still needed me, and I had to find a way to live for them. That's when I understood that happiness wasn't something I could wait for or expect from life. It was something I had to create from within. But how did you manage to do that? How did you move on after such a loss? Each morning I woke up and made a promise to myself. Today is a new day, and I will find something to be happy about. Some days it was harder than others, but I always found something. Maybe it was the sun shining through the window or a flower blooming outside my door. Maybe it was a kind word from a friend or the sound of children laughing in the village. There is always something to be thankful for, even on the hardest days. I told myself, this too shall pass. The bad moments, the grief, the loss, they won't last forever. And in the meantime, I focused on the small joys, the things I still had, my health, my friends, the beauty of the world around me. I learned to look for the good even in the toughest times. And little by little, I realized that happiness is a choice. But what if something really, really bad happens? How can you still be happy then? It's never easy, dear. Life is tough. But I remind myself that everything is temporary. Even the darkest days will pass. I can choose to focus on what I've lost. Or I can choose to see what I still have, what I can still enjoy. The choice is always mine. The young man nodded thoughtfully, a sense of peace settling over him. He left that day, carrying the old lady's wisdom with him. From that moment forward, he tried to see the good in every situation, no matter how difficult. And just like that, his life began to change. He smiled at a passing neighbor, helped a child with their homework, and enjoyed the beauty of a sunset. His mood lifted with each small act of gratitude. The old lady's story spread throughout the village. People began to see that happiness isn't about what we have or what happens to us. It's about how we choose to see the world. And as the villagers learned this, the entire village grew brighter, warmer, and more connected. And so, the village became a happier place, all because of the wise old lady who taught them that happiness is a choice to focus on the good no matter what life brings. Remember, happiness is not something you wait for, it's something you create. No matter how tough life gets, there's always something to be grateful for. Choose happiness. Choose joy. If you found inspiration in this story, remember, happiness is a choice that starts from within. Choose to look for the good in every situation and watch how your life transforms. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more powerful stories that uplift and inspire. So what have you learned from this story? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below.